Christian has won 5 out of 6, including a win against Florida State. That was the big win that probably got them on the right side of the bubble, which is where they've been now for the last month or so. Cavaliers win the tip. Kihei Clark will set them up offensively.
No Derek Thornton tonight for Boston College. Did not play in the last matchup against Virginia and will not play tonight because of the back spasms.
Yeah, suffered back spasms today at shoot-around and just couldn't go. Jay Huff getting Virginia on the board. Here the Boston College starters. So Jared Hamilton, he's missed the last 2.5 games because of an injury. He's back in the starting lineup, taking Derek Thornton's spot. Nick Popovich also missed that first meeting, number 21 for Boston College. He missed 9 games earlier in the year. He's back and playing well. Popovich now clear lane to the bucket.
Ooh.
Challenged by Dick. He was strong enough to get it to go.
He is so comfortable with the basketball, and that's why Jim Christian puts him at that elbow. Good passer, and you saw the nice fake.
Wide open for 3. Will to Tensai, who hit that game winner against North Carolina just off the mark. Going with the braids today. A little cleaner cut look for Will to Tensai. Strong bucket, no call. And shake it up with Stephon Mitchell on the other end. We'll keep an eye on that for Boston College. Now we get the whistle. This is the last thing that Jim Christian wants to see with that shortened bench already because of injury, and his team has suffered so many injuries this year.
Well, he's their toughest player. He's an outstanding defensive player, incredibly versatile on that end. Gives you about 3 offensive rebounds a game. He's an outstanding rebounder. And Jim Christian wanted a foul on the play there.
Has a word or two for our officials as he walks over to take a look at Mitchell. He's kind of an all-everything player for this team. Let's take a look at how it happened.
I mean, that's a foul. There's no question about that. Jay Huff comes right into an airborne shooter, and he must have taken it right in the rib area.
He is looking at that left side, whether it's the ribs. That's what it looked like, Chris.
You know, I don't understand how you missed that call. I mean, those two guys are basically isolated in the lane there. Huff comes over. There's clearly contact. I don't know how you missed that call.
It was missed. And Mitchell getting a nice ovation from the crowd here, which is a really nice crowd. They're taking John Paul Jones Arena and taking him in the back to the locker room area. We already figured with Derek Thornton out, you'd get more minutes for Julian Rishwain, Kamari Williams, Chris Herron Jr. probably. Now we're definitely going to see more minutes from this bench that Jim Christian has. He's got no choice.
Well, they become much less experienced and much less talented when they go to that bench.
C.J. Felder in the game now, 0 for Boston College. Huff open for 3, and he'll drill it. Jay Huff off to a strong start for the Cavaliers. Jay Heath, the freshman, one of the top freshmen in the conference. Popovich. He'll try and work on Huff. Nice look to get it to Felder. Drives and scores.
BC, well, both these teams going to play late into the shot clock. BC, a lot of movement. I mean, they get a lot of bodies moving around. It's a Princeton, John Beilein derivative type of offense. Is it too soon to reference John Beilein?
No, please. Oh, that's a really nice move by Braxton Key. I'm sure it won't be the last time we mention John Beilein tonight. Grass is always greener. Felder now trying to work on Key. Gets it to Heath, high off the glass, but the shot was challenged by Key, and now here comes the Cavs. Clark with a little hesitation. Huff again for 3. And a quick timeout for Jim Christian. 8 points early on for the big man in the Virginia Cavalier uniform. for. It's 10-4 Virginia early.
At Food Lion, this is our Saturday night, where fresh food made at home gets them home fast and keeps them coming back for more and more. This is why we keep fresh food priced low for all our neighbors. Because this is our home, and that's our Food Lion.
Welcome back. Quick start for Virginia, and it's Jay Huff. 2 threes from the exact same spot. This one off the pick and pop, wide open. Late contest there by Popovich. And then watch Kihei Clark get into the lane. Good little hezzy, sucks in the defense, and then trailing the play slowly right to his spot, top of the key. Nice lift early here by Jay Huff.
You got a guy who's 7 foot who can take it out like that. He's pulling Nick Popovich away from the basket. Yeah. That has to change what you do offensively tremendously and defensively for Boston College.
It's the penetration. You know, that guard, when he penetrates early, he's going to take the entire defense with him. If you got a shooting big who just trails it slowly, that shot is going to be open 90% of the time.
Virginia's so relentless defensively. 3-point attempt off the mark. Diakite is there to pull the board. Key into Diakite. We're going to travel as he made his move to the basket.
You know, Mamadi Diakite has had a very good year. And, you know, he and Kihei Clark jumped right to the top of the scouting report. And I don't know if neither of those guys, in fact, I know that neither of those guys were quite ready for that adjustment.
Great steal, great hands by Diakite.
But that is an adjustment. And Mamadi Diakite, they've relied a lot on him for offense, and he's not quite the most refined offensive player.
Kihei Clark made a move, but he couldn't finish. A little space for Jarius Hamilton, and he knocks down the jumper. Clark trying to pass it to Jay Huff, and it just goes in. Well,
we'll take it. Not even a smile.
He was asking the official whether it was a 3. I mean, beggars can't be choosers at that point. It's a deuce. And it's 12-6 Cavaliers doubling up the Eagles here early. Heath is open. He knocks it down. This freshman averaging over 12.5 a game. Just has the confidence that Coach Jim Christian loved. He talked about him earlier today in the shoot-around.
Well, he's right now on the All-ACC freshman team. He's having an outstanding year.
Huff again for 3. He's already hit a couple, this time off the mark. Heath looking to penetrate. Shot blocked by Huff. Gets the board. What a thought about a really deep 3. Clark splits the defense, gets it to Key on the baseline. He's trapped. Looking for help. Muscles his way out of it. We get a 3-second call. 3-second call against Virginia. 12-9. Virginia with the early 3 from Green Bay, and Nick Nurse played at Northern Iowa. They looked at the pass from Kihei Clark to Jay Huff that went in, and it was a 3. So Kihei Clark was right to look at the official and say, hey, you know, when they go in, I got to get full credit. That's 3 points, and the lead is now up to 4. And that's 3 threes for this Virginia team early on, even though that one was a little bit of a fluke. Kihei Clark will take it.
And a team that is last in the ACC in 3-point shooting. Just had a bad year from the perimeter.
Off to a good start. Like you said, they've got 3, and what a 10 side doesn't have any of them. 10 to shoot for BC. Heath trying to get around Huff. Hamilton. Bounce pass into Popovich. He's off as the shot clock is winding down. That's a quintessential Virginia defensive effort.
We're going to see a lot of that tonight because both these teams offensively are going to take it late to the clock.
Oh, the 10 side.
Not a driver, much more of a perimeter shooter, but when he gets to his left hand and can put it on the floor to his left, the percentage finishing in the paint, probably a 40 percentage point difference.
And one of those players you talked about in the open, Chris, who's finding himself on this Virginia team.
You know, JUCO guys, it normally takes them a while.
In the corner to Heath, 7 to shoot. Hamilton gets off a 3, knocks it down. Jared Hamilton missed the last 2 ball games plus second half of a third. Back in the starting lineup tonight because Derek Thornton has those back spasms, can't go for the Eagles. Virginia slowing it down on the offensive end. Key goes baseline, little floater, no good. Good to see Steph Mitchell back in the game for Boston College, shaking up a moment ago. Quickly, Kamari Williams. That's Walt Williams' son, by the way, with a nice move to the bucket to get the easy deuce.
Well, it's a good little shovel pass by Mitchell, poorly defended, and then look at this.
Poor pass leads to a steal, and Heath misses, but Popovich is there for the putback.
I mean, a bad defensive possession where you just allow somebody to drive down the lane to your basket, and then you turn it over against this three-quarter court pressure that's just forcing Virginia to take time, not really trying to turn Virginia over.
Cavaliers with 4 turnovers already. Roll to 10 side now for 3. That's good.
He is on a heater, man. He's got 14 made threes in their last 3 games, and that's with going 1 for 8 against Notre Dame. You know, junior college guys, when they're playing for their junior college, he went to Indian Hills Community College. They're so concerned about their own thing, getting to the next school, getting a scholarship, that when they get to that school, especially a place like Virginia where it's about fitting in, it could take a while for those junior college guys to understand what it's like playing at this level.
Huff with the block on one end, now trying to get position on the other. Clark. Now that's another bad pass. That's 5 turnovers for Virginia already. Heath coming off the screen from Popovich. Hamilton tried to keep his feet. Apparently he did, but was off balance on the shot. Almost halfway through a first half that's flying by here at JPJ in Charlottesville. Clark. Here comes Heath. Popovich thought about it. Ooh. Spins to his right. That's a nice move. Just everything but the finish. What a 10 side with the rebound. Casey Morsell, first time we've seen him today for Virginia. 6 to 5 to shoot now for Virginia. Clark is going to have to put it up, and he does. Way short. Ball tapped out though by Huff. Virginia will get a new shot clock. 20 seconds. It resets. Here's Key now facing the basket. Going strong against Mitchell. That's a great move with the left.
You know, him missing games when he was hurt, it was not good for Virginia. He's a crafty scorer, as you see there, just a crafty move at the basket. He's a versatile defender. They really missed him when he was out.
Popovich for 3. Misses everything. Fortunately for him, he has Mitchell there to get the rebound, and Mitchell's off. Battling for the rebound. Now Heath for 3. Finally gets it to go.
How about Kamari Williams keeping it alive? The freshman whose minutes are up in conference play. He buys another basket for Boston College with his hustle, and Heath cashes in.
Just a 1-point lead for Virginia. Huff again, he already has a couple of threes. Key battling for the rebound, gets to Huff. What a 10 size wide open. He opts not to take the shot, though.
Call the press. Wall the 10 side passed up an open three.
That's the biggest surprise of the night so far. He's got Mitchell on him, one of the best defenders for Boston College. Clark had the quickness, but couldn't get anything to go as the shot clock was winding down. Williams. Off the mark.
I think I might be able to make that 9 o'clock dinner.
This is one of those games when you and I were back in studio, we knew we had to fill time, we hated it because we knew it was going to be about an hour and 40-minute game. Huff, man, he just wants to trigger happy from beyond the arc. What a 10 side is, and just bounces it in and out. Popovich with the rebound. Officials have to make that call. Key just couldn't put on the brakes in time and fouled Popovich. 1-point lead for the defending national champions.
In their last game against NC State was BC grinding that one out at home, and that's where this league is at. And you almost have 3 data points. You got to beat Louisville, Duke, or Florida State to really state your case. And so to your point, Chris, that's where NC State is at in that game.
Huge game there. That's as was this Virginia game against Florida State when they won here on this court. It sort of got their season kick-started and put them on the right side of the bubble, which is where they've stayed. But they got to keep winning if they want to stay there, including tonight against Boston College. Mitchell for 3, short. The Eagles just 1 for their last 6 from the floor. Cody Statman now handling the ball in the game for Coach Bennett's Cavaliers, number 23. Diakite against Mitchell. He's fouled going to the rack. They'll get Jay Heath on the call when we come back. Diakite to the line. Cavaliers up 1.
I know they wear North Carolina across their chest, but Virginia can't lose that game. And they end up getting the buzzer beater from the 10 side, but that's where Virginia's at. This process has become so analytics-based. The Big Ten to me right now is so overrated. 10 teams, like Joe Lunardi today had 10 Big Ten teams in the NCAA tournament. That is ridiculous to me.
Diakite hits the first of 2. A lot of teams on the bubble, too, in the Big Ten, like Minnesota and Indiana, for example. Purdue is there. Rutgers is probably on the right side.
And what happens is the analytics make the case for them, be it because the non-conference was good or they're playing teams in their conference that had a very good non-conference. But the point is, if you watch Indiana play, Indiana's not better than Boston College. Indiana's not better than NC State. Indiana's not better than some of these teams that are not on the right side of that bubble in the Atlantic Coast Conference. I don't understand it.
What a 10 side with quick hands and the steal. 2 turnovers for the Eagles so far. What a 10 side fakes. Puts his defender up in the air. Here's Statman. Tried to get it into Francisco Cafaro. 5 seconds to shoot for the Cavaliers.
10 teams. Ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And Jim Christian was making a good point today because the net, so they went to the net, and the net is not only who you beat, but it's how you beat them. The score differential, percentages you shot in that game. So they beat Sacred Heart at home earlier this year, and they didn't play well. They only scored 60 points, didn't shoot a good percentage. They get hurt by that. That hurts them all year. Jim Christian saying today, our offense will never recover from that, according to the net.
Rishwain for 3. Nope. Not many second opportunities for Boston College as Virginia continues to clean the glass. Coach Christian also saying just so difficult to move up. You know, he's about 150 net. You get a big win, you go up to like 147. When, to your point, Chris, you dug that hole for yourself early on in the year.
Well, the ACC going to 20 games, you've added 30 losses to the league, which also is going to contribute to the net not looking as kindly upon the league as past years.
When you have a year like this, too, where other than the top 3 in the league, everyone's beating up on everybody else. Diakite with the knock away from Popovich, just 4 to shoot for BC. Mitchell sees it. He's going to have to launch the 3. Bounced out, yet another rebound for Diakite. That's 4. Not only BC, but Virginia's gone cold, too. They're just 1 for their last 8. As Coach Bennett has gone to his bench to steal a few minutes.
And so is Jim Christian, and your shot quality is going to go down.
And an offensive call against Kihei Clark as he drove the lane.
You know, this has always been the strength of Mamadi Diakite, has been his defense. He has really good length, good instincts, just stays big in front of the ball without fouling. It makes it tough for Popovich.
Jay Huff now back in the game for Cafaro. With both these teams, Chris, it's a good thing they moved the three-point line in college basketball to the international level this year. We got Argentina. We've got Guinea. We've got Bosnia-Herzegovina. We've got Slovenia represented. I got Australia. Am I missing anybody? Huff with the rebound.
I think you've covered the United Nations.
Faros from Argentina. Both teams have gone really cold. Wolden Tensai trying to change that and does with the 3.
He really does. He really does run hot and cold. You know, he only played 8 minutes in the first matchup against Boston College. He has steadily gotten better. Single-handedly almost beat Louisville. Virginia had Louisville on the ropes. You talk about Virginia being on the bubble. That game really would have helped their cause.
Heath working on Clark. Clark with the quick hands, and they're going to get him for the foul. That's his 3rd. That's something to keep an eye on here in the first half with 3:55 left.
On the pin down, Thomas Wolden Tensai. He stays hot. It's wet.
As to remind me, don't forget the Italians, Chris.
Yeah, leave it to you to forget the Italians.
And I love Italian food. Wolden Tensai, I apologize. That's not even talking about Krajevic from BC, who's from Slovenia, Popovich from Bosnia and Herzegovina. An opportunity to see these international players in action tonight. BC trying to solve this Virginia defensive riddle. They haven't had much success, especially shooting from the outside. Here's Heath trying to change that to Popovich, and we'll get a travel. Boston College has gone 5 minutes without any points.
Well, Virginia's done a nice job jumping their stuff. You know, BC makes you guard a lot of different actions. Dribble handoffs, ball screens. Ball's going to go from side to side, and Virginia's done a nice job either switching or jumping those actions. The shot quality has not been good for BC over the last 5 minutes.
Braxton Key now handling the ball with Kihei Clark on Coach Bennett's bench with a couple of fouls. Doesn't want him to pick up a 3rd one before we go to the break. 7 to shoot. Statman driving, a lot of bodies falling down. He finds himself open, but couldn't knock down the shot. Now we'll get a call on the rebound, and it's going to go against Virginia. State Farm halftime report coming your way. Just 3 minutes and 13 seconds. ACC Commissioner John Swofford. We'll hear from him, plus first half highlights and stats of this game, and I'll get you caught up on some of the other big games in the ACC tonight. Syracuse at Louisville, Duke's at NC State later on tonight on ESPN. That's a huge game for NC State. They got a couple of big ones coming up tonight and Saturday. The Wolfpack really need to get a W in one of those two if they want to move into consideration and off that bubble. Popovich now for the jumper, hits it. It's interesting, Virginia offensively without Kihei Clark. Key's handling it. Statman in the game for the Cavaliers. Jared Hamilton with a kick will reset the shot clock.
Well, and they've been able to survive, and much like they have a lot this year with their defense. You know, BC won for their last 9. Or I guess 2 for their last 10. Popovich hitting that last bucket. But, you know, Tony Bennett telling you and I before the game, like, our offense is going to fluctuate. We're just not the same team offensively we've been. But our defense has gotten better, and it's pretty solid.
Staying with the basics defensively. Nikite! That's easy offense. Relatively quiet first half for Nikite offensively, just 4 points, but those were loud points. Now the crowd here, JPJ getting into it. Hamilton coming off a screen, and they'll get off on the screen.
Great execution here on this 2-man game, and Diakite, when he rolls hard, there's that screen, not played well, no help behind. And Diakite, what a good athlete, good finisher he is. And still rocking the blonde. I mean, I love the, you know, he's got that demolition man look. He's really stayed with the blonde.
Wesley Snipes action there. 12 to shoot for Heath. He is just all over him. Popovich. Huff's length is really bothering Popovich tonight. Another deflection out of bounds. Boston College will have 4 to shoot.
Well, and they're coming over with a double, so he's looking at 4 pairs of arms.
Eagles trying to inbounds. They do. Hamilton's going to have to put up a 3, and it's way off the mark.
I guess he wouldn't be looking into 4 pairs of arms. He'd be looking into 4 arms.
But it probably feels like 4 pairs of arms because those arms are like 7 feet long. Key, no problem getting by the defense and getting to the rack. Lead is up to 8 now for the Cavaliers. Dangerous time for BC. Heath, he makes him move to the bucket.
Tell you what, he is having a heck of a year. All ACC freshman team. It'd be an upset if he's not on that. And he was good against Virginia in that first matchup. One of his best games in the season.
Scored 17 in that game. What a Tensai mid-range. No, but Key is there for the rebound. Will he try again now for 3? Hits! Manja, Walden Tensai. Manja from 3. 6th 3 of the game for the Cavaliers. 9-point advantage, the largest of the league. Crowd here, John Paul Jones on their feet. Ball gets away, but can't be saved by Statman. It'll stay with Boston College.
Ciao, bueno. Manja, Walden Tensai.
Que bella.
For 3.
Your Italian is much better than your French was earlier in the year.
Hey.
Olivier Sarr, he wasn't having any of it.
I still maintain that Sarr's French was not good. He didn't know what the heck I was saying.
Sacre bleu. Popovich. Great move back to his left, but he couldn't finish. Now 20 seconds for the Cavaliers. Braxton Key will hold for the last shot. Huff has 2 threes. Will he have a third? He does! The horn sounds to end the first half. 7 for 12 are the Cavaliers from beyond the arc. Huff has 3 of them. Virginia with their largest lead of the game. They'll take it to the break thanks to the 7-footer.
Another pick and pop. 2 of his 3s on just that easy pick and pop. Jay Huff.
Huff hits the 3. The crowd here in a frenzy. State Farm half here in the second half as well.
And I think the move to Rishwain is to get more shooting on the floor. You know, they ended up having to really try to beat that Virginia defense over the top. They're not a good perimeter shooting team. I think Jim Christian just trying to find some perimeter shooting.
Might get some here from Heath. Nope. Kihei Clark, who got a rare breather at the end of that first half because he had 2 fouls. Coach Bennett didn't want him to pick up a quick third. Now back in the game for Virginia. Key quickly. Diakite on the reverse is fouled.
I mean, that's Virginia basketball. That mover blocker, you get that floppy screen on the baseline. It's a tough action to guard, as basic as it is. Key curled off of that, was not defended well. And Diakite, it used to be Ty Jerome and Kyle Guy making that pass. Some different faces this year, but the same result for Diakite.
First of 2 after Jarius Hamilton bumped him and picked up the foul. Not many fouls on either team in that first half. That's Virginia's style. They don't foul very much at all, just under 14 per game. Diakite having to assume so much more responsibility this year, as Chris was saying, with Kyle Guy, DeAndre Hunter, Ty Jerome moving on. #14 largest lead of the game. Heath on Braxton Keith. Popovich fumbling at first. Jump hook over Huff, gets the roll.
And no double. You know, they first half, they were doubling the post when Popovich caught it. And they change it up. It's one of the things Tony Bennett does. He keeps you guessing when you're on the block there.
He looking to drive. Huff, 3 three-pointers in that first half. Had only 11 the entire season coming in. The 7-footer. 7 to shoot for Virginia. Diakite's gonna have to make a move. Goes to his left, now back to his right. Can't get a shot off. And that's an unfortunate break for Boston College. The shot clock violation prevented a possible run out.
This is a good job by Popovich, keeping his composure, gathering the ball, seeing what the defense was going to do. Diakite stunts at him, but no hard double. Popovich scores over the top, one-on-one.
From the corner, that's a 2. And Jarius Hamilton, he's been quiet this game with a bucket. Key will go to the line to shoot 2. Rishwain picks up the foul for BC. Look at the freshman from LA. He misses the first, he'll have a second. This is both. Eagles looking to further cut into that deficit. Heath. Wow. Gets by Diakite, they'll count that.
He is so good off the bounce, especially in traffic. And there's an explosiveness to him. Really a good athlete. Look at that split right there, and then the cross when he sees Diakite come up. That is a mature move right there by the freshman.
He mentioned explosiveness and fearlessness too from a guy who's, as Coach Christian told us, really, he's maybe only once or twice this year even felt like maybe he was playing like a freshman. Look at Clark just blowing right by Popovich and one.
He has been so good in ball screens, and if you're going to switch him, he's just going to take you off the bounce. And then how about staying on the same side of the basket? I thought he was going to come use the rim as a protector there. Decides to stay on the same side. What a finish.
Caught one in the eye. Looks like he's all right.
You know, he and all those guys left, and they were such great clutch players, but I still maintain that Mamadi Diakite and Kihei Clark have one of the greatest plays in the history of the NCAA tournament. That play in Purdue, the pass from Clark to Diakite, is one of the all-time great plays for a team that made a run to a national championship.
Now Clark has 3 fouls. And it looks like Bennett's going to go to his bench. He doesn't want to do it. A show of angst from Coach Bennett, but he's going to have to do it. The 17:32 mark doesn't want Clark to pick up number 4. So as we saw late in the first half, a rarity with Kihei Clark now finding a spot on the bench. He doesn't even know where to sit on the Virginia bench. What do I do, Coach? Leads the ACC in minutes played. So let's see if Heath can do something here with Kihei Clark now on the bench. Although Braxton Key's been D'ing him up all night. 7 to shoot for BC. Popovich trying to go in at Diakite, and they'll call Diakite on the foul.
Yeah, that's a foul.
Crowd here doesn't agree with you, Chris. John Paul Jones, I wouldn't expect him to.
Well, they don't know what they're talking about.
They only know one speed. It's a good crowd here, too. Good capacity. Popovich from 3 hits it.
He's really skilled, huh? I mean, he's handling the ball, posting up, passing, and then shows you the range there.
So BC hanging around a little bit here. The lead was 12 with the break down to 8. What intense side. Ice water lately.
It really is. He's got a short memory because, again, in this stretch of games, he went 1 for 8 against Notre Dame.
Puff says, not this time, Heath.
And it was funny because you and I did the Louisville Georgia Tech game last week, and Walden Tensai gave Louisville 7 threes. Was great. And again, they had them on the ropes. Virginia did. So he goes 1 for 8 against Notre Dame, and the day after, you and I see Chris Mack, and Chris Mack is saying, this guy Walden Tensai, he gives us 7 threes and goes 1 for 8 against Notre Dame. What's the deal? And then the next game, Walden Tensai against Carolina goes for 6 in the game winner.
Jared Hamilton goes up strong against Huff. No quit in this BC team. Back down to 8. Bennett going to his bench a little bit to steal a few more minutes. Got Casey Morcell now in the game. Key. Huff fakes the pass back to his left. Now spins up. Didn't get the end one, but got the call against Popovich. Cavaliers still lead here in the second half, trimmed to 9. Chris Cotter, Chris Spatola in Charlottesville, Virginia. Take a look at what Virginia's done since the last time these two teams played back on January 7th. Boston College got the win, kind of sent Virginia into a little bit of a slide.
Yeah. Well, they needed some of these other guys to step up. You know, we've talked about Walden Tensai. Jay Huff is starting to play better. Kihei Clark, frankly, is playing better. He's a little bit lower turnover than he was to start the season. So they just, some of these guys who, even the guys who came back from that national championship team, they needed a lot of these guys to get comfortable in their own skin. 6
of those wins, as you saw, were, for the most part, just about all of their games have been close games. Unlike BC, this year BC has been very up and down. Some close games, some good wins, and then a couple of blowout losses in there. Virginia's just sort of playing it close to the vest, as you would expect with Virginia, because they don't score a lot of points, and they certainly aren't going to allow you to score a lot of points.
It's hard to win in this game, man, when you can't score. And with Virginia, some of that's by design. This year, some of that's been personnel.
The lead is 10. Mitchell outside of Popovich. A lot of movement from BC. Heath from way outside, not close. Mitchell, though, pulls the board. Another opportunity for the Eagles. Good pass. Mitchell knocks down that 3. And the lead is now down to 7 for Virginia.
Another great offensive play by Popovich there on the pass. What good vision.
Key will get the call, and that'll be a blocking call on Popovich.
This is inside out, playing inside out. The ball hits the middle there, and how about the reaction by Popovich to hit Mitchell? And Mitchell buries it. Not known as a shooter, but when you're that wide open, you're going to get a dirty look from the passer if you don't knock it in, Chris Cotter.
Just a 27% three-point shooter was Mitchell, but he knocks down that three, as you said, after a really nice pass from Popovich. Popovich guilty of the infraction on this end, so he'll get a little bit of a breather on Jim Christian's bench. 15 to shoot for Virginia. Mitchell's just harassing Wold Tensai, who got him up in the air. Not a Diakite. Roof got the foul. CJ Felder guilty on that one. Diakite back to the line. Boston College has yet to attempt a free throw tonight. Virginia 6 of 9 from the line. First one bounces out. Kihei Clark back in. Morcell gave Coach Bennett a few minutes. Hits the second. Lead back up to 8 for Virginia. Hamilton.
Off the bounce.
Now it's 6. They're just chipping away at it, staying in it. On Mitchell, that's a good matchup. Here comes Key. Saw an opening and we'll get a call on the floor. Next Thursday night, women's basketball doubleheader on the ACC network starts with Clemson and Syracuse at 6 Eastern, followed by Miami hosting number 10 NC State. Just a game behind Louisville in the standings are the Wolfpack. Both games right here on the ACC network, as well as on that ESPN app. That's Thursday nights. Gets the bounce on the first. Virginia mentioned very few fouls in the first half. Boston College guilty of a few here in the second. So Virginia in the bonus already at 14-23. Key knocks down both free throws. Lead back up to 8. Pressure on BC. Relentless. Stavin, can he chase it down? No, Heath does. Now looking to strike quickly. Hamilton had the mismatch and tried to get it to Mitchell. Heath drives. Defended nicely, though. Couldn't get a good shot off. Clark drives baseline on Heath.
Nice pass. Oh. He is so good along the baseline. Kihei Clark. What a find.
5 dimes for Clark. Back up to a 10-point advantage, and they'll call an offensive call here against Mitchell.
Kihei Clark. Small in stature, he is mighty along the baseline, though. He's so crafty. Watch the find. He probably got fouled when he was bumped. And then a nice find. And you go back to the North Carolina game, the game-winning shot by Wold Tensai. The play that set it up was a baseline skip by Kihei Clark.
You and Coach Bennett talking about that earlier, about how great of a play that was by Clark and by Wold Tensai with the shot fake. To have the presence of mind before the buzzer.
Yeah. And the short memory, because Wold Tensai was the guy who fouled the three-point shooter.
Here, Walden 10 side finds Clark. He thought about shooting a deep three. Now he gets Key, another great pass.
You know, if you just keep moving, and that's what Braxton Key has done on the last 2 possessions. First one, he moves to the front of the rim. Clark finds him along the baseline. And then Clark on this one, check this out, just diming it all over the place. Dropping dimes, the no look. Key keeps moving. He's got some change out of his pocket. Here ends up hitting that one. What a difference this guy makes.
Yeah, Key Clark averaging just over 6 assists per game, 3rd in the ACC. He's got 5 tonight and a couple of serious dimes. Last 2 passes make that 6. Now here's Hamilton for 3. He's had a big second half, keeping BC in it.
He really has. Only a sophomore. He's a raw talent. He's got a lot of things you can't teach. Good athlete, but really putting the ball in the basket tonight.
9 points now for the game.
Shift to a zone here by Boston College out of the timeout.
Stafford, I saw him in warm-ups. He didn't miss. He still hasn't missed on the night. Hits his first 3 in the game. That pumps his lead back up to 12.
I knew a lot of guys who didn't miss in warm-ups.
Right, but then missed in the game.
Right.
I carried that a step further, and Statman did too. That's just his 11th 3 of the year, though. So, Coach, didn't you see me during warm-ups? Chief trying to get to Popovich. Well defended by Virginia. Cavaliers now 9 of 13 from beyond the arc. Wow, Diakite just blew by Popovich. He had no shot. Just when BC looked like they were creeping back into it, getting it down to 6 at one point here just a few moments ago, back up to 14. Popovich tries to drive on Diakite, a lot of contact, but no call in the bucket. Diakite may have caught an elbow or shoulder blade in the face.
Oh, and Popovich, you could tell, a little upset about getting abused on the other end. Decides to go back at Diakite. First, we'll show you the 3 here. Chris Cotter shouting out the warm-up Warriors.
Yes, I told you. Watch out for Statman.
How about a guy doing it in a game, though? And then Diakite, before he took that shot to the face, right to the right hand. Little finger roll.
The long end of a headbutt from 6'11" Nick Popovich from Banja Luka, Bosnia and Herzegovina.
You've really been going to the well on that one. You must have worked very hard on that.
The international flavor, not very tasty. So Mamadi Diakite, he'll take a little bit of a rest. 9 and 5 for him on the day. The full court pressure from BC. Knocked away by Heat. It'll stay with the Cavaliers.
Jim Christian showing a few different looks out of timeouts. Went with the 2-3 zone. The last timeout here with the full court pressure, and a run and jump.
An easy look for Braxton Key. Foul from Jarius Hamilton, preventing an easy deuce.
You know, this is where I have at times compared Virginia to a boa constrictor, where they just suck the life out of you. And, you know, a 12-point game with 10 minutes left, those games can end quickly, and you really don't find a lot of opportunities to close the gap. So Jim Christian changing up the defense, you know, try to maybe steal a turnover, get an easy bucket, force tempo a little bit. So hard to do against Virginia.
There's one area where Virginia has struggled tonight. Has been from the free throw line, although he does get 1 of 2. Now 10 of 15. Now he gets a better shot and throws up an air ball. But there's Hamilton. Fortunate recipient of that air ball. Clark. Oh, what a move! Hamilton cannot connect with Kamari Williams. Turnover. Back to Virginia. Coming up, a special All-ACC from Louisville. Kelsey Riggs, Carlos Boozer, Luke Hancock, and Dallin Cuff will be live in the KFC Yum Center with all the conference highlights and analysis. And, of course, you can catch it on the ESPN app. You can't watch it on the ACC network. Louisville with a big win tonight over Syracuse. We'll talk about this Duke-NC State game going on right now as well over on ESPN. And I'm sure lots about our game with Virginia. Looking strong here, up 13. Clark now underneath. Didn't get the roll. Heath defended. Now here comes Heath trying to push it. Hamilton. He does nice to get back. Double team comes on Popovich. Heath, good look to Popovich. It's knocked away, but he'll get Key on the reach-in.
Good execution there by BC. You get the high pick and roll. Popovich rolls hard. And we'll see here. Tough angle from where we're sitting. That looks clean to me.
Popovich with BC's first free throw attempt in the game, and it looked like it.
Are you a ball don't lie guy?
Just barely drew iron.
Are you one of those?
I guess it's karma, yeah. If you don't believe that was a foul call, then you believe Popovich won't get any points out of it, although he does get one.
So what is that if he gets one? Is it a white lie?
It sort of is. It's like Ball probably didn't lie.
Ball white lies.
Ball just fibbed or blaved, if you know what that means. There's K.A. Clark, the stat man. He wasn't happy about that call against him. He wants to take it right in, but he travels. Unfortunate possessions for Braxton Key. BC continues to battle as we're under 9 minutes to go in this game. It's 12, the advantage for Virginia. Eagles had it down to 6 here in the second half. But a run by the Cavaliers has extended it. Huff pulls the board on Jared Hamilton's miss. That's 8 rebounds for Jay Huff. Marcel with a tough shot off the front iron. He gets the rebound, though. A fresh 20 for Virginia. Clark wide open for 3. Smart for the sophomore. Just run some clock, run the offense. Alley-oop to Huff.
Oh, what a pass. He is putting on a distributing show with one hand. Just kind of lofts it up to the basket for Huff.
A nice grab and finish for Huff, who has 14. Popovich for 3. Good.
And that keeps you in the game, because if they come away empty there, you got another 30 seconds coming off the clock on the other end. That was a big-time 3 by Popovich.
He's fought hard for 17 points tonight. Statman for 3. In and out. We get a call against Braxton Key for crashing the boards. Will go the other way, but Clark.
Whew, look at this. I mean, just kind of shovels it up there. What a feel. He's got all the shiftiness. Watch this shiftiness. A little hezzy, and then the floater up to Huff.
And he's kept this advantage right around that 10-point mark for much of this second half. Popovich has had a good game for BC. And the Eagles have actually shot the ball not poorly from beyond the arc, especially here in the second half. They just can't keep up with Virginia, because Virginia's shooting the ball from 3 well. And now K.A. Clark is breaking them down and getting to the basket. And they've also gotten to the line quite a bit.
Yeah, the the foul line has been a significant advantage for Virginia tonight. And like you said, this has been one of their best offensive outings they've had all season. I mean, they're almost shooting 60% from the field.
He hits both free throws. He's quietly amassed 15 points on the night. Each defender falls down. Morcell's grabbing his ankle. Hamilton for three. That bounces off the mark. He gets the board, and we'll get a whistle because Morcell, you can see out here by the three-point line, just grabbing that right ankle. That doesn't look good for the Cavaliers. Their top backcourt player off the bench. Stepped on Popovich's foot, turned the ankle. You can tell by his face immediately. Nice ovation from the fans here at John Paul Jones Arena as Morcell can't put any weight on that right foot. Helped off by this Virginia staff. It's a bench that Tony Bennett doesn't use a great deal. Will steal a few minutes here and there, but Morcell certainly is one of those players that he relies on to do just that.
But he had 10 points in that Carolina win the other day. It was the first time he had been in double figures in about a month and a half.
We'll keep an eye on Casey Morcell as he continues to be looked at by this medical staff of Virginia. Lead is 13. 7:02 mark here in the game. Clark can't get it in. He dives to save it. And he does, but he gets a timeout, too. Clark is on the court. Got the timeout from Tony Bennett.
No, I don't like those. I don't like that a player can call a timeout when he's laying on the ground. You should have to have 2 feet on the floor. The defense gets penalized there. I mean, that ball ends up as a little bit of a scrum. It's on the floor, loose ball. And you get bailed out by being able to call a timeout. I don't like it.
As it stands, he got bailed out. A few things. I'm going to start taking notes.
I don't like it.
There are a few things you don't like that I'm starting to really get an idea about. Well, it was a lot about the charge and blocking with you this year. The year up until now has been a lot about that.
It has.
For good reason.
For good reason. That rule, when they changed it to the defender being allowed to move laterally as long as he's in quote-unquote legal guarding position, we have seen more charges called that have not been charges.
We've seen more of that. I think the fear before the season started was about the flop and how that would be called. And when I agree with you, I think we've seen more of those charges or no charges more than controversial flop, no flop call. So add that to the list. It's inside here. Hot in that first half. Hasn't had to be here in the second half as Kean Clark has taken over, driving and distributing. Now here's Clark with 10 to shoot. Clark goes up for the baseline. That's 10 points, too, to go along with all those dimes. Lead back up to 15. Largest of the game now for Virginia. Popovich. To his left, now right. Nice job defensively.
What a matchup that's been tonight, those two guys.
Clark. Key just kept his foot long enough.
He really is shifty with the ball. He's got a little Harlem Globetrotter to him. He really does.
Young man from Woodland Hills, California, 10 points, 8 assists now. And Jim Christian says, I got to get a timeout here, down 17. As it's desperation time now for BC.
This matchup tonight has been outstanding. Diakite keeping his feet. Popovich can't find an angle. And you end up with a tough shot, and then Diakite cleans up the defensive board. You got to update your face there, your face board. You got to get that hair blonde.
They got the national championship trophies flanking Mamadi Diakite.
It's an impressive banner they hung in this building. I mean, the logo, the Minneapolis logo helps the cause. It's a wonderful logo that...
Very memorable, and obviously a very memorable trip for those from the Central Virginia area that went to Minneapolis for the Final Four last year. Got to cut down the nets.
Final Four heading to your hometown this year.
Well, the Final Four is when you can make a trip to a Final Four, especially for a Virginia or a school that doesn't, it's not a Duke that goes seemingly every other year. It's a special time. Statman for three. He's going to get the vanity license plate, Statman, before too long because he's knocking down threes. That's 2 out of 3 for him tonight. The lead is 20. That's the largest lead of the game. Heath pulls the offensive board. He'll go straight back up with it and hit. 10 threes in the game for Virginia. It's the second time all year they've hit double digits from beyond the arc. Statman drives back to Clark. Six to shoot. Look at Clark. That time Hamilton was there defensively. Driving on Key, and Key will get the call against them.
There's just an extra burst of energy when you say Statman's name. I don't know what it is tonight. You're all over Statman.
He's responded.
And he has responded. On fire in warm-ups, as reported by Chris Cotter. Stays on fire. Look at the bench. Loving it.
Zen, the moment of zen for the Cavaliers and Statman. Plenty of time to shoot for BC, 20 seconds. Now a turnover after the foul. Gave him new life.
Who knew that you were watching warm-ups so closely? I thought you were updating your social media.
No.
Who knew? You were locked in on
I'm
warm-ups.
surprised it's taken you to the end of February to figure out how I roll when it comes time to prepping for games. He's locked in. Guess they had coffee here, and that's, we've seen not always the case. What a 10 side. Diakite, will he take the shot? Shot fake. Now he gets a better position, but he charges. Cavaliers were in control at the half. They're in even more control now. The lead is 18 here in Virginia. 10 points, 8 assists, and a game that Virginia really had control of at the half. He's taken over in the second half, even though he got into a marginal foul issues late in that first half.
Well, the foul trouble took him off the floor. And they're a much different team, obviously, without him in the game.
It's amazing here in the second half. Boston College has shot 58% from the floor. Now, absent of anything else, you would think, hey, 58% against Virginia, that's outstanding. And it is. It's just Virginia shot 77%. He's trying to work on Clark. That is an amazing move. Freshman.
Well, and there haven't been many games this year where Virginia has scored in the 70s.
It's the second game all year they've hit that mark. We still have 3.5 to play. Go to 10 side. Just out. Rishwain. About spotting up. Too deep. Top to Heath. Just wants to take over. Floater gets the bounce.
He's impressive.
He's got 16.
He's impressive, and he's really come on in the second half of this season. He's not afraid.
inside. It's caught up back to his left, back to Clark. 10 to shoot for Virginia. Kite backing his man down. Mitchell, turnaround, not even close. Here comes Mitchell. Nice pass. Blocked by Key, but there's Felder for the putback. Now Jim Christian wants to call a timeout, talk things over. Tony Bennett's a little disappointed that the lead has been cut down to 12. Jay Heath, freshman.
He's really good. He's a really good driver of the basketball. He can make a perimeter shot, but this is what he does best. He's got a good feel, he's shifty, and he's a solid 175, so he's pretty strong.
Like we've seen guards like this at Boston College, football players that use that strength and physicality.
Jerome Robinson was a little like that. You know, Jay Heath is having as good a freshman year as any freshman who's come through BC in a long time.
Comes in averaging 12.6, 3.3 rebounds, 2 assists per game, has 34 steals coming in. Decent shooting from beyond the arc, 38%, check all the boxes. And Coach Christian said he's just not afraid of any moment. Came in here affable, keeps the guys loose. Just has a guy who's going to have a C sewn on his jersey written all over him at some point in time in his Boston College career. Leading this team on an 8-0 run right now just to stay in it again. There's hope with 2:22 left to go in the game. The way they've been shooting the ball in the second half, they have hope.
No press. That force Virginia to have to advance the ball, take care of it without turning it over.
Side, we're inbound to Clark.
You'd almost double Kihei Clark on that inbound there. Don't allow him to catch it.
Oh, he almost picked his pocket. Look at the call.
Thought Heath had his cookies there for a second.
Coach Christian thought he might have had an easy one.
It is a foul, and Tony Bennett was upset. The official who called it was not the official standing right next to the play. It was the official across the court.
Clark good from the line on his first attempt. ACC live from Louisville coming up. Cardinals with a big win tonight against Syracuse. Lots to talk about that game, about this Virginia team. We'll get a foul on the rebound. This one's going to go against Huff. Just the second team foul, second personal foul, 6th team foul against Virginia. Sure, all ACC will talk about bubble teams. NC State in action tonight against Duke. They got a big one against Florida State this weekend. This Virginia team goes on the road, played a tough spot in Pitt, the Oakland Zoo. Frischwain, everything but going down. Kihei Clark, more than content to run this shot clock down. Now 10 seconds, he'll work for something, trying to get to the rack, and he does, and one.
That's been their late clock, late game stuff this year. Either an open ball screen or just an open floor for Kihei Clark, because he's so good. Jay Huff doesn't even really set the screen. Clark able to create the angle on his own. And at 5'9", he's such a crafty finisher in the paint.
Completes the three-point play. Now up to 15 points on the night to go along with his 8 assists.
I give that kid a lot of credit. He had big-time shoes to fill, and it was gonna be a process. It was gonna take some time. He is starting to come on.
Popovich for three. Hits it. He's hit a couple of threes. Battler tonight. Dished out as much punishment as he's taken. His feet and his head. 75 points for Virginia. Season high as we go under a minute to play here in Charlottesville. Up and around Popovich. He's got every move in the arsenal on display tonight.
He's a globetrotter.
He shows his quickness. Gets to the bucket. These two are putting on a show tonight that we're going to see in this league for another couple of years. We certainly hope. Comes about 10 rows into the stands. Back onto the court. I know you're fired up to watch some basketball this weekend. Where are you going this weekend, by the way?
I am going to, I'm doing Bedlam. I've got Oklahoma State,
That's
Oklahoma.
Nice. Bedlam basketball style. I want to peek at Virginia lacrosse. They're playing against Princeton on the ACC network, and I say that because Michael Sowers for Princeton is a special player. He's like the Kihei Clark of college lacrosse. That game Saturday at noon on the ACC network. Just check it out.
I appreciate you asking me what game I was doing first before you.
In addition to that game, Central Time probably have.
I'm surprised we didn't read a promo. I mean, you know, every game we've done together, they've read the promo for your lacrosse game.
I want a lot of wrestling too.
You know, I'm a big Lars Tiffany fan.
For good reason.
You didn't know I knew who Lars Tiffany was, did you?
I'm proud that you do. Virginia has a national championship banner hanging here inside John Paul Jones Arena. They hung one up at Klockner Stadium 2 weeks ago. Defending national champs in lacrosse. It's a good time to be a Wahoo.
Coastal Division champs. Do you hang a banner for that, do you, Matt?
You do. Because it's the first one they've won. You know, so Kihei Clark getting a big ovation here from the fans at John Paul Jones, and for good reason. Our Zaxby's player of the game, he had a great night. Final 10 ticks. Kite with a block on Popovich. Popovich will finish it with a layup. And Virginia